Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, my single solitary viewer. Welcome back to NHL 20. We've got our expansion franchise, the Quebec City Double Butts, or the Assassins if you prefer. We've just finished the off-season. We're into our second season, the 2021 season. Our first team that we're facing is the Columbus Blue Jackets, and as you can see, thanks to the additions of Pietrangelo and Gibson, among others, our team score is a lot higher than it was in the previous season. We've got like 92 defense, 87 for the goalie score. Let's see how that translates on the ice.
Now just moments away for the first game of the season. Everybody's still got a shot at this point, right?
Well, for the most part, there's some that shot is a long way down the road. But everybody feels like they've got a level footing here to get started.
You gotta give credit to any person willing to be named Elvis, even if technically their parents chose the name. The game starts, and we've got a pretty even match with a few chances on each side. Now Elvis is making sure that the Quebec City Assassins don't score, and on the other end, John Gibson is making sure that nothing goes in. Even when the Blue Jackets have a power play, nothing seems to budge, nothing goes in. John Gibson stands tall, so we made a good acquisition, it looks like, during the offseason. Can't quite score on the penalty kill, which I like to do from time to time. But so long as they don't take the lead during the first home game of the season, I'm fine with anything. But here's Gurianov. Sweet pass. Derek Brassard just puts it in. And that's the first goal of this season. The first man to score is Derek Brassard. It's his first goal of the season. Last season, he had like 10 or a dozen goals or so, mostly because he was feeding Elijah Martindale, and Martindale scored all the goals. It's also worth to point out, of course, we drafted a high-level prospect in the offseason. His name is Lucas Raymond, and this is his first game of the season. He's on a trial with the team. Maybe he'll be sent back down to the farm team. We'll see. But the game goes on, and Pietrangelo up to Raymond, and he scores his first. First goal in his first game, just like Elijah Martindale did in the previous season. We've kind of got a tradition now with the high-end rookies scoring on their first games. Also on the play, Alex Pietrangelo gets his first point with the team. It's an assist, just like John Gibson. He's the goalie, but he also gets credited with an assist on this one. Now, the Blue Jackets come firing back. There's really nothing to be done against Pierre-Luc Dubois' goal right here, taking his own rebound on the power play. And, that was assisted by Cam Atkinson and Seth Jones. And then Seth Jones just, buries another one, and it's immediately 2-2. That was also a power play goal. That time, if I recall correctly, Josh Anderson was in the penalty box. But here you go. You just try any play. Just try the point shot, and you never know when your forwards are doing their job in front. They pick up the rebound and put it in, just like Samuel Blais just did. That's Samuel Blais from Cam Fowler's point shot that didn't go through, but it went over to Blais. And now it's 3-2. Gurianov, very patient, and sends it in front again, feeding Derek Brassard, and Derek Brassard scores his second of the game. And that was just very, very, very patient from Darius Gurianov with the puck there, waiting as long as humanly possible before making that pass. And there was obviously no chance for Elvis. Not long after, scramble at the faceoff, Sprong to Raymond in the crease. And that one's just easy as can be. There's no chance for Elvis again. It's just not going to be Elvis's day, it looks like. But Lucas Raymond now, first game, 2 goals. Connor Sheary in front to Valerie Nichushkin. And there's the goal. The other assistman is Zach Werenski. And the Quebec City Assassins are starting to get away with this one. It's starting to not be all that close. But the Flusmaker special right there, cross-crease pass, no chance. Sprong to Blais. And that didn't go through, but Blais keeps the play alive to Thornton, to Zach Werenski. And there you go. That's the goal. It's actually Zach Werenski by Sherry and Blais. So I thought Thornton got involved in there, but no dice. It was actually Zach Werenski from Sherry and Blais. And you thought this one was over. But here comes Derek Brassard again, with seconds left in the game. A nifty little wrist shot, top corner, and that's 8-2. And the hat trick for Derek Brassard in his first game of the year. This one is assisted by Fowler, new to the team, 2 assists in his first game. I think things are going well for Cam Fowler too. So all the new players contribute in some way, or almost all of them at least. And it's just a blowout, a massive blowout. Poor Elvis. It was just, yeah. I don't even know who came in to at the end there to to try and save this game, but it did not go well for him either. Most of the goals came into the second half of the third period. It was close until then, and then it just became a lopsided massacre. The next game is in Toronto. And thanks to the power of simulation, they take an early lead. And we're going to have to do something about it. But of course, now you can see the goalie score changed. That's because Eric Comrie is in net. And of course, Eric Comrie played well the first season. Now, we're all the way at the end of the period, because that's how long it took to finally tie the game. Elijah Martindale with his first of the season. And whew, that was a hard-fought goal to obtain. It took an entire period of hard work that we completely skipped to show only the goal. In overtime, things don't exactly go Quebec City's way. And there is the goal by the Maple Leafs. And Quebec takes the L. They do take 1 point, because in NHL now, when you lose in overtime, whether it's in the shootout or during the overtime period itself, you do get at least 1 point. So the Quebec City Double Butts have 3 points in 2 games. For our third game of the season, the Quebec City Assassins actually get a shutout, and they beat the Rangers and then lose a close one to the Winnipeg Jets. But unfortunately, we get some bad news. John Gibson injured himself during that latter game, and he's going to be out for a month. So it's going to be time to go to the roster moves and call up Oscar Dansk. What follows is an epic loss against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Quebec City Assassins can't even score a goal. It's a perfect game for Pittsburgh. A big L for Quebec. And the next game, well, they're going to have to turn things around because the Dallas Stars haven't lost this season, and they're up next. But the sim engine won't even let me interfere. This one is lopsided in the other direction. Dallas had a 5-0 season, and now they have a 5-0 loss against the Quebec City Assassins. More bad news though, Elijah Martindale's out for a bit. Not as long, just a couple weeks. We should be able to manage this one. Marcus Kruger started out the season in the farm team in Brossard. Now he's getting called up thanks to injury, and he'll be filling in on the fourth line with Lucas Raymond and Harlock. And then I'm taking another look at the D because I improved the team during the offseason to increase the chemistry. I'm really happy with the chemistry in the first pair, but not the others. But for now, without our franchise player, against Detroit no less, looks like offense is the issue. We get a shutout, blank sheet, no goals for Quebec and that big loss. And then it's a struggle to score against Ottawa. Again, another rather weak team. So we're going to have to get involved in this one. It's a scenario we've seen before this season already. The team has to work basically an entire period just to tie the game. Now in this case, that's a point shot from Zach Werenski, and it gets tipped in front of the net by Derek Brassard. Just watch for it. The direction change right here. And in between the legs and into the net. Now that's going to send the team in overtime, or will it? With 10 seconds left, 8 seconds left, big slap shot by Tyler Toffoli, and that one is actually not going to overtime. It's going to end seconds before, well, actually the goal-winning goal is going to be scored seconds before the end of the game. And that's how it ends, 3-2 for Ottawa. They don't even get that sweet, sweet OT point. With the win comes more injury woes. This time it's Jace Harlock, who is sidelined for a little while. We're going to have to call up from the farm team the man you wouldn't want to invite to a feminist convention, Richard Panic. Now think about the nicknames there. But on the ice, he actually scores 2 goals against the San Jose Sarks. And that gives Quebec City another win. But now that Elijah Martindale is no longer injured, because it creates a puzzle with my lines. I've got actually too many forwards that are of NHL caliber quality, and I've got too many of them that are too good for a third line, I'd say. So I might have to trade somebody sooner or later, because I've got too much depth. Back to the games, and we're facing the New Jersey Devils, a rebuilder. They're low on talent, but they managed to tie this one in the third period, and we're going to overtime. Now you can see by the goalie score, Oscar Dansk is in front of the net, so we have to be really careful. Werenski to Martindale, one-timer, and they score. That's a big W for the Quebec City Double Butts. And it turns out it wasn't actually Oscar Dansk in front of the net, it was Eric Comrie. So the goalie score would actually be even lower if Dansk was in front of the net. Next games, it's against the New York Islanders. And it's been a long time since they've been on top. It was back in the 80s. Oof, that's a long time ago. Before the Oilers, before the time of Gretzky. And it's a massacre. Quebec City Assassins 7 goals to 2. Next up, the Anaheim Ducks, no longer mighty. And they still managed to take the lead. That's actually Thatcher Demko's win. His first against his old team. We did trade him for John Gibson. And, well, I guess that worked out for Anaheim this time. Against the Kings, the Quebec City Double Butts get the shutout. The Kings are also a rebuilding team at the moment. So we're got a nice little part of the calendar, but the Calgary Flames would not normally be a rebuilding team. But there's one thing that's a little bit odd. It's their goaltending score that is only 67. So normally they should have Mike Smith in front of the net, but what, is he injured or something? I'm not sure. But here we take the puck back, and the first goal. We tie the game, Connor Sheary. I mean, I'd be honest, against this goalie, I'd be a little bit insulted if I wasn't able to score. It's not nothing personal, but this is a young rookie who just got drafted, basically. He should barely be AHL level, that's the minor leagues. And now he's like right in front of his goaltending for the Flames. Immediately afterwards, another goal. This time it's Josh Anderson's. This kid, I can't quite read the name, Zav Jigulin. Sounds like a Russian kid, but oof, that's a baptism by fire. Like Simon here gets injured, and who knew even what collision happened? It was like the victim of a roller derby. And surprisingly, we don't score more. We have to score an empty netter, and I show this one in super slow-mo because Nichushkin loses the puck. Then Samuel Blais takes it back, shoots it on Nichushkin's stick, and in. So Nichushkin, number 13, gets credited with the goal, even though Samuel Blais could have gotten it. He saw that his friend missed the net and decided, oh no, I got you, bro. At the beginning of the season, Coach Cocoons wanted us to play Lucas Raymond in the pro team for at least 9 games, which I did. And now that I know that his overall is 77, he's not quite ready for prime time, so I want to send Lucas Raymond down to the farm team for seasoning so that he has optimal development, I hope. And Coach Cocoons agrees. Awesome. Meanwhile, the season continues, and we're still playing without number 1 goalie John Gibson. And yet, things appear to be going okay. I mean, he get a shutout against the Vegas Golden Knights. And who's the hero of the day, you might ask? Well, it's none other than Eric Comrie. 30 saves, no goals against. Perfect. Since I now have 2 elite prospects in Brassard, Tim Stutzel and now Lucas Raymond, I've been making sure, with a little more micromanagement, that the team development goes well. And that the environment is a winning environment. And team captain Jesper Fast gives the Brassard Dragons another win. Yeah, Fast is in the farm because of his high salary. Sorry, Jasper. But, Jesper. But I'm sorry. You're costing too much. And now you're in the farm team. Now, we've beaten the Charlotte Checkers. And now we have to do the same to the Carolina Checkers. Or Hurricanes, if you prefer. Their pro team affiliate. And Tyler Toffoli just ties the game. Just easy peasy. Foosmaker special. Can we get another one? Yes, we can. It's 3-2 Quebec. And this time, Daniel Sprong gets the goal. And in the wise words of Sir Mix-a-Lot, if you want goals... Alright. Verily, I say upon you, I'm an imbecile. The game goes on, and of course Daniel Sprong now is taking a penalty. But no problem. Derek Brassard can score. How does he score, you ask? Short-handed? Well, he gets a little help from his friend Dougie Hamilton, who grabs the puck and accidentally puts it in his own net, which is extremely infuriating when it happens to me, but I won't complain when it happens to the computer. But I'm able to do stupid things too. There's proof positive. You won't get a replay of this because that's how mad I am. That I caused, literally 100% my fault. I skipped all the replays, go straight to the face-off. You can tell someone holding the controller is getting salty. And he's getting just a tad bit saltier. Now this time, that was just like a completely well-earned goal. They outworked the D behind the net and then set up a perfect one-time shot goal. There's nothing that could be done there, but it's just... someone's still fuming. So it's now 4-4 in a game that, should be easily won by the Quebec City Assassins. Thankfully, Josh Anderson's there with a quirky little wrist shot. With the wrist shot, you don't need to do too many dekes. You just need to do a little bit of deking, and the goalie is not going to know where you're going to go next, and that's going to give you a chance at scoring. And a chance at scoring is what you want. But then somebody doesn't learn their lessons from earlier. And yeah, another goal, 100% my fault. All I had to do was make the goalie keep the puck. I couldn't do that. Some idiot made some dangerous passes with the goalie twice in a game, and now the game's in overtime. But in overtime, in the wise words of Sir Mix-a-Lot, if you need a goal, well... Oh, and Quebec City wins a game that I probably should have lost based on how poorly I played with the goalie there. But it's a win in overtime. And the New York Rangers are offering Shaw a $4 million contract. How about no? No. I do want to do some trading though, but unfortunately, since the fog of war is on, the fog of war means that for players I haven't seen very often, I don't really have a good idea what their skill level is, so I have to ask my scout team to actually scout them, like Josh Manson here. I don't know what his real overall is, and he's on the trade block. I'd like to know what he's worth. Maybe I want to get him, And I do the same thing for every single team, not just Anaheim. It's just I'm just going to cut that out of the video. When I get to Florida, I'm figuring, hey, you know what? I want their first pick, and I want Justin Poirier. And I know Sprong, he's had his moments in these past few games because he's a talented kid. Unfortunately, he doesn't fit with the coach's schemes, so I want to trade him, or I'm open to trading him. But unfortunately, that trade's rejected for reasons that are going to make trading with Florida very difficult, which is they want top-end talent, but they don't want to pay for top-end talent. But a prospect and a few draft picks is okay, and I do obtain Justin Poirier, not the first pick. With Colorado, I want Hendrix Lapierre, and I give him Oliver Suni, the Finn that we obtained in the last draft, along with a 5th round pick. And we get Hendrix Lapierre. Now, John Gibson returns, and finally, and we get something we rarely see, a shootout. And against the Washington Capitals, it's a tough team to do it against, especially when your top player is Joe Thornton, because they have a stellar goalie in Holtby, and they have some stellar scoring talent in Ovechkin and others. But John Gibson saves the day again, and here comes Daniel Sprong. And in the wise words, you know. That's all you need to know. A nice little deke there, and slips it under Holtby. Backstrom has to score. He was really trying a nifty deke. But John Gibson knows how to poke check. And on his return, it's a win for the Quebec City Assassins against the Washington Capitals. And that's going to be... things are going pretty good. Like, I thought that maybe we'd go on a big losing streak when John Gibson got injured for a month. But after 20 games, the team still has 14 wins, and they're on top of their conference, above the Rangers, the Islanders, and the Maple Leafs. There's two of these three teams that I did not expect to see there this season, but there they are. And things really are going quite well for the Quebec City Assassins with a 72.5% win percentage, and the goals per game, 3.7 goals scored per game. The offense is doing great, despite the fact that, really, Elijah Martindale is the only is the only elite player. Really, everyone else is like some solid guys that you wouldn't mind having on your team, but they're just not go-to people usually, not anymore, like Joe Thornton used to be, but that's no longer the case. And our D-men, Zach Orensky and Alex Pietrangelo, are the top two in the league. Our former defenseman, Mark Giordano, is number 3. So one of the keys to our success has been quite visibly the high chemistry between Zach Orensky and Pietrangelo. They're just racking the points. They've got a really, really high plus-minus. And they're probably in the running for the best D-man trophy. If we look at what the stats are for the players individually in the team, Connor Sheary is actually the top forward, mostly because Martindale was injured for 3 games. Martindale has the most goals with 11, unsurprisingly. He's been playing at center instead of the wing for a little bit, because he's that talented. He's capable of being a center, but I really want, though, I would prefer to not have him be the center, but if he has to become a center, so be it. He might have to become a centerman. Forward, of course, has the fewest points in the team, but that's kind of expected. He's a third pair defensive defenseman. Eric Comrie has been stellar during John Gibson's injury, with an extraordinary save percentage of .93 and less than 2 goals against per game. You'd think he's an elite goaltender, but really he's just barely a starter in the league. And John Gibson has a lot more talent, but he's struggling to have some good numbers this season. Of course, he's only basically played 6 games so far, so it's not really fair to judge based on only 6 games. But that's how things are going. Already, the Quebec City Assassins are starting out extremely strong with a 79% locker room chemistry. So that type of chemistry means the team is likely to remain on top for the season.
Sponsored by the Flu Crew on Patreon.